Jack, are you cheating again?
I got 4 pair, 4 aces.
How the heck did you do that? You're worse than Slim.
Hey man, I play to win.
4 pair? I got 5 pair. I don't know about you.
Yeah, but I also got 4 aces. That tops everything.
Must be a peach of a hand.
I got 4 aces, 2 kings, and a jack.
Why, Ed, you look like you're just about to bust.
Don't forget these 2 queens too. I got them also.
Well, cover your ears, darling, because I call.
I got 2 full houses here.
I got 5 kings. Let's see if he... Hey! I heard somebody at the door.
Well, let's go see who it is.
Go see who's at the door. Don't worry, I'll watch your cards.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you will. You want to go to the pot?
Push delivery.
Close that door, Martin. It's cold out there. Crazy fool.
Thanks for you.
For me?
Yeah.
What the heck? Who's it from?
haven't
Sit
got a
it down. The heck is that?
I haven't had a clue.
Who's it from?
I don't know.
Watch your cards there. Alright, let's take a look at this. Wow, look at that. I think I know what this is. What's that say? To Jeb and Slim. From Aaron. Sierra Blast. I don't know. Nevada Jack, I don't have no idea, but I think I know what it is. What's this? Instructions. I can't read nothing. Ooh, cartridges. Oh, you know what? I think I know what this is. Boosters? Wow. Now I know what this is. This is one of those small microblasting machines. Yeah, that you could use on hard rock mines or on load deposits. I heard about these things. These are fantastic. For small-scale miners that can't afford a federal explosives license or commercial blasting, you can use one of these. And it's so simple. Look at it. It only weighs like 30 pounds. Ooh, I can't wait to take a look at this because now I can blast some rock out. You know what I say, huh? So come on, come here, take a look at it. Let's go. Do that attack, you crazy fool. All right, take a look at this. All right, I don't know what that is. That's old mumbo jumbo.
No, I'm
Ooh,
trying to read.
look at this. Woo-wee, I know exactly what all this stuff is. Ooh, look at that. I don't know what that is. Got all kinds of cables and stuff in here. Wow. Look at that. There's a box right there that says detonator. Ooh, hey, look at that. Put that thing in your ear and pump it up.
I don't think so.
Ooh, what is that? Those look like the detonation heads right there. Look at that. There's a couple of them in there. All right. And there's all kinds of tools in here. Oh, and there's the power distribution box. Ooh, I'll get this lamp out of the way so I don't knock it over.
Just put it down here so it doesn't fall on the floor.
All right, so what do we got? Well, in case you don't know, this is a company called Sierra Blaster, right?
Sierra Blaster, there's stuff right
Sierra
there.
Blaster. Oh yeah, this is the legal stuff. Ooh, don't lose that, Nevada Jack. Okay, so how does it work? Okay, for a lot of you small-scale miners out there, the way that it works is you drill holes in the rock and you put these little charges in there, and then when you set it all up, you set it off electrically and it blasts the rock out. I know, it sounds cool, don't it? And you don't even need a license to do that. So, because it's ATF compliant. So I'm gonna lay everything out so you can see how it all looks, and then I'm gonna walk you through the instructions. So, dude, so you know what I'm gonna say, huh? So come on, let's go. You crazy fool. Okay, so how does this work? Now, they make 2 different types of systems out there for the small scale miner. They make the micro blaster, which I'm sure you heard of, it's been around for years, and this new one called the Sierra Blaster. And I did a lot of research on it, and I like the Sierra Blaster for a number of reasons. Why? Well, one, the Sierra Blaster is waterproof, and that's very, very important if you're blasting in conditions that have water, or if you want to use water to increase the amount of potential energy you have stored up in those charges against the rock. And I'll explain that later. And also, these are fired electrically. The microblaster, you got to use air. And guess what? If you don't have enough air pressure, you're going to have a misfire, or bootleg hole as they call it. And you don't want that. So, how does this all work? It's really simple. Okay, you take one of these drilling rods and you drill in. Now, there's a specific sequence I'll go over in another video. You drill a short, shallow hole, and then you drill a longer hole and a longer hole. But it's all based off the type of rock that you're drilling and the size of the rock you're drilling. And of course, you're going to use a hammer drill to use these. And after you drill with these rods, which are 10 millimeter, you're going to drill a series of holes depending on how many heads you have. Now, of course, the system comes with 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10 heads. And the neat thing about this is you can daisy chain them because it's electrical. Now, when you're working with the microblaster, of course, you have to use what's called an air manifold. And the more heads you got, the more air pressure you're going to need. So that's why I like this system. It fires electrically. Now, if you're going to be drilling out there with any kind of electric drill, you're going to need a generator. And this particular rig is basically set up to where you can plug it into your generator. But the neat thing about it is that there's also a company, and I'll leave the link down below, that makes this guy right here. It's called a blasting box. And it puts out enough voltage where you can run it through the system and fire up to 4 heads in one shot. Isn't that cool? For you guys who want to backpack this stuff in, if you guys are going in those remote locations. Okay, so how does all this stuff work? All right, well, you get your magnum charges, which are your primary charges, and you get your booster charges. And how does it work? Well, like I said, they're fired electrically. Look at that. Isn't that cool? See that? You got a wire on the end of it. Ooh, that's cool, huh? Look at that sucker. That's a big old honker right there. Be careful with that because that'll take your fingers off. Okay, and here's one of your heads right here. Now, as you can see, I already got the cable in, but you know what? I'll take the cable out. Just like that. Now, the way it works is you put this little guy on the end. Now, first rule of thumb is never set this guy down like this because you fall on that point right there, woo-hoo-hoo, that's going to leave a mark. So you leave them on the side always like that. Never leave them face up. I know it's going to be real hard to do that because they just look like they naturally do that, but don't you do that. So you can put the charges right in the top like such. And then you run the wire. There's like a little slit right down the side here. See that? Woo, that's so cool. And then that's a little deflector plate right there. Okay, next, you're going to put your firing wires in there like such. See how they got these spring-loaded sections in here for your wires? Yeah. And then all you got to do is put your wires in this one and link it up with the charge. And this is your firing line right here. And so after you've drilled your hole out, you're going to place this into the rock. Now, you're going to need to go down at least 5 inches for this thing to be effective. I've seen some guys only have about 1 inch and it don't work well. You got to have about 5 inches in. And if you can, place a rock on top of this thing. That's why you got this foam pad here on the top. Now, they make 2 different ones. They make aluminum heads and they make these stainless steel heads. I like the stainless steel heads because you can blast in this configuration or in this configuration with stainless steel. But with aluminum, you can only blast in this configuration. All right, so where does this wire go? Well, this wire connects up to this little guy right here. It's called a distribution block. That's right. He plugs in there, and then on the end of this is this long 40-foot cable. See that? And what plugs into that? This is your firing box right here. See that? I got my little switch in there. That way you can't accidentally hit the button, so they stick it in there. They recess it. And then from there, it plugs into your generator right there. Because these little guys require at least 600 watts of power. Woo, that's a lot of energy. And the neat thing about these blasting boxes is they produce 270 volts. Wow, can you imagine that? And so that's why you can get away with setting off 4 of them with this thing. And of course, see this little guy right here, he can plug into here just like such. You twist it in. See, now he's ready to go. All I got to do is charge him up, charge that capacitor up in there, and then woohoo, fire in the hole. Now these other guys right here, these are boosters, and you can use up to 2 boosters in front of this guy in the hole. Now, like I said, these guys are waterproof. So if the rock is really soft, or if you're trying to increase the amount of pressure in that hole, you pour some water in there and you stick it in on top of it. Oh, you'll fracture that rock real good. And then of course you got lanyards here. The lanyards lock into this guy so when it blasts, it doesn't go flying all over the place. You can retain it. So it's really cool. I thought you'd get a kick out of this. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make a nice long video of us showing how it works out in the field. Because I know you wanna see it in action, huh? So I'm gonna put all this stuff together and we're gonna drill into some rock and then we're gonna fire some charges and we're gonna get some gold. So doesn't that sound like a plan to you?
Yep.
It sounds like a plan to me too. So you know what I'm gonna say, huh? So come on, let's go.